IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Geek Fruit with fellow and television geeks Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar as they discuss the world of science fiction and nerd culture.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's a new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and you're joining me, the host Siju. Kevin, why are you dancing? Nobody can see you, but I can see you.
Siju, nobody going to believe you.
Everybody believes me, okay? Every day they listen to me, okay? But Chiranjit is also joining us. Chiranjit, even you can't see what Kevin is doing, but I think he will believe me. But moving on. Finally, I think ISL is taking up the pace of giving us some goals and giving us some good game. But last night it was a one-side, I would say, dominant performance from Chennaiyin FC completely. 3-0 against the Northeast United. I think Northeast really need to find some luck and something that can get them going. But Chennaiyin, absolutely, they're back in their form, looks like. Again, you can't, like Chiranjit said, you can't judge them against the team in Northeast. But hey, it looks like they're back on track, and they also did some changes in their starting 11, and it worked. Rafael Augusto being the star. All of that we'll talk about as and when we progress. Now let's get in the thoughts by our experts here. Kevin, the match 3-0.
Just one-way traffic for Chennaiyin FC, and change of formation also helped them a lot. They started with 4 at the back, and getting more solidity at the back line always helps you before you try to go and get in the goals. But 2-0 at halftime the match was already done, and the icing on the cake was obviously Rafi getting in a nod in front of the goal.
He's always that super sub
you
kind
have
of
to
a
be.
thing. Either the player who gets him, either he's a player who substituted him, like when he goes out, somebody else comes in and scores, or it has to be the other way around. Like he came in this time and he got the goal.
We will be seeing Babatov doing that a lot in this season.
I felt, I remember getting Chiranjit into it. I'm sorry, I'm again coming in here. But I felt Rafi had a Robin Singh moment. He was just there at the right moment just to put that ball in. But yeah, otherwise, how do you think the whole game panned out?
Yeah, great. Augusto, the heart of the midfield there, and the link-up play was excellent. The back line was solid. There was no way to penetrate that, and Northeast never even got into the game. They were just not really there. But it is one of those games where you have nothing working for you. That was Northeast's day yesterday, and so great home win for Chennaiyin FC. They needed that after that first loss. Just helps the fans come closer to the team again.
Right, Chiranjit, Northeast a worry? Something? Are they in a worrisome situation? 2 losses now.
Well, yeah, not too long.
No, first one is a draw.
What I'm worried about is it's like they just did not show that spirit. Once you are a goal down, and then you get the second goal, and 30 minutes in, you still have an hour left in the game. They started making changes, but it did not seem like the pace of the game was changing. It did not seem like the flow of the game was changing. It didn't seem like they were doing anything different, or even if they were trying, they were managing to do anything. Chennai FC was just comfortable, So if you are playing like that and failing to react to a bad situation, I think it just shows some bad morale in the team. And lack of motivation. Maybe they tried, maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but it just doesn't look good for Northeast United.
But on the other side, Chennai are back on track, do you think?
Yeah, this is something that seems to be working for them. Just as Kevin said, with a solid back, I think they got a little bit lucky early on with the first goal. The Rafael Augusto shot got deflected off Haku, which took it away from Rehanesh's reach, and that was a lucky break. But the second goal was awesome. Rafael Augusto, once again, all the credit to him. But once it was there, they just had to sit there because they did not face that kind of challenge. So more or less a comfortable goal. I'm not sure if Kevin will agree here with me, uh, the game just did not seem that exciting, except when there were these individual moments of brilliance. Other than the goals, I can't think of too many interesting moments to talk about here. Simply because because Northeast United were down, the onus was on them to bring the fight, but they could not. So it's either indicative that Chennaiyin FC have achieved some absolute mastery over their control of the game, or Northeast United are just not turning up.
I think they never just got into the game, Northeast United. They had expected more of the similar kind of individual performances from last game, especially Haku. He was so good in the defense. He just did not, try to get his game going. And when your defense doesn't work, it obviously leads to a lot of midfield falling back and then trying to help out the defense to get in the ball to the forwards. So it is something that you take on yourself. So that was the problem there. Nirmal Chetri was there in the first game. What tackles he made, I think this was not even close to what game he had in the first one. So that's there. It's one of those days that none of the things that you try work with you.
No, I think even the coach agrees to it. Like Kevin pointed out, because Deuce at the post-match press conference said that they scored, and I quote, they scored because we lacked concentration at the start of the match, and end quote. So it's like he is coming to terms that, okay, it's time that he's getting that heat, he's feeling the heat. A draw and a loss is like, they're still on 1 point and they've conceded 3 now. So in the second match, I think he's going to slowly get his team pumped up. He also says that there were a few chances we created, but then again, the same problem is there's nobody to finish it. I mean, you have to convert those chances into goals. Now, moving further, he also spoke about Roland Borges. He did mention in the pre-match that he is fit and he's back in the training, but to give more clarity, he's telling, and I quote, "Let's tell you the truth now that the match is over. Roland is going to be in the first 11 for the next match, and I'm not joking, he's recovering," and end quote. So, he's coming to terms. So probably Roland can, make those chances and get those chances meet the net and get those desired goals. But otherwise, I think Northeast really need, like, we always see them struggling, and I think it's time that they have that some magic going in their favor to come out and shine and be the actual dark horse and to disrupt some party up there. Now moving on, we have some weekend matches for ISL, but also some drum roll please. We have I-League starting, and the first match will be taking place tomorrow in Minerva's home ground, that's in Ludhiana, and taking on the first match against Mohun Bagan. Now, Minerva, a side that's very promising, Mohun Bagan that holds a lot of history with them and always been the title contenders in whichever league that they start. But how do the proceedings look like? It's the first match of the league, and Chiranjit, we begin with you because you are a fan of Mohun Bagan, but how do you see here, because they've shaky start in their pre-season?
Well, finally starting, I don't believe it. I mean, I thought we were not going to have an I-League this season, and till Star Sports showed that one ad, I had still had doubts, like, is it actually happening? Like, kya ho raha hai? Like,
did you pinch yourself?
There's no
is it real?
It didn't feel like the league season was, it didn't feel like league was in the air and all of that. But yeah, it's finally happening. I'm thankful to Star Sports for moving the match from 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. So the match will be on Star Sports 2, Star Sports 2 HD. And I'm so glad that we are finally here, So, yeah, Minerva Punjab versus Mohun Bagan. Mohun Bagan, of course, are desperate to get back for the title race and everything. Minerva Punjab obviously want to do a little bit better than they have been doing in the last season, since the last season. So it looks like they're gonna surprise Mohun Bagan, because I'm going by their performance that they had against Delhi Dynamos. They played a friendly against Delhi Dynamos FC and started with some of the younger players and mostly Indian players on the pitch. And Delhi Dynamos came and scored 2 goals right early on. And then they changed the formation. They put more defensive players on the pitch, or some more foreigners, and suddenly, Delhi Dynamos could not break through for the rest of the game. It just, I think it ended 2-0. So the team looks in a little bit better shape than last season, even though they lost quite a few players. But can Mohun Bagan break through? Can Mohun Bagan make an early breakthrough? I was talking about the Mohun Bagan attack earlier on a couple of days ago. It does not look good in the middle. Okay, and if you're losing the midfield battle in an away game early on in the season, which is quite possible, looking at players like Hosoe or Asiedu or Aidara that Minerva Punjab have, and what if you concede? Then how do you come back from that? Because you put maybe Kamalpreet or Latif, two players to shut down Sonny Node, and suddenly the Mohun Bagan attack gets crippled. Then what happens? So I think there are reasons for Mohun Bagan to be worried about this match.
Okay. Kevin?
Similar thoughts. Midfield is worrying because Yuta Kinowaki, who's replaced, I should say, not brought in place of Katsumi Yusa. He's unavailable, so that's it might be a difficult run for Sanjay Sen in the first game. But obviously they've got experience. They've got wingers who can do the job much better, and I think the reliability on wingers will be much more than the central midfield, at least in this game. We will see how it works out in the other games. But Minerva Punjab have a good set of foreigners with them in the midfield and in the striking line, especially Chenko. Now this guy has come from Bhutan. He's very young and he's just shown a great promise. He's on fire. Now he's played in the local tournament and even in the friendlies that they played. So all in all, Minerva Punjab have carried forward few of their retainees into this season, and this added up with some great signings. So the foreigners especially will be great for this young side. I hope they can blend in well, and they've been making the right noises in the last season. Obviously the start in I-League wasn't great for them, but we saw them picking up slowly towards the end of the season. Right. It's a great way to get going in the season, in the new season, to face one of the best teams in the I-League.
Right. Now, just like you mentioned, the Bhutanese player, Minerva has now support from Bhutan. He's already promised at the I-League launch. He said that the whole of Bhutan is going to support Minerva. That's great. Well, now let's...
I will make a comment here that will piss off some Minerva Punjab people. I think if they play their home matches in Bhutan, they will get more crowd than Ludhiana.
I think they understand that it won't piss them off. But at the end, they're not playing in their actual home ground, right? But now that's how things are, in a footballing nation like us. That's how things work.
Future head football.
Yeah. Well, let's go down to the basics that we keep doing. Predict the score line. The first match of I-League in this new season, Minerva Punjab versus Mohun Bagan. Chiranjit, your score line.
I'm gonna. I laid out a sort of worst case scenario for Mohun Bagan. I don't think it's gonna go that way. Mohun Bagan have had a better pre-season. They've been playing friendlies more often. They even played two competitions. NBFC have been playing in Punjab League, which is not as good as CSL or Sikkim Gold Cup. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it's gonna be about a 2-1 win for Mohun Bagan. Although there's a good chance of Minerva Punjab winning the midfield battle, but I don't think the individual talent of certain Mohun Bagan players will let that happen. There will be some long balls, some less than beautiful efforts. Maybe Kroma will put in some effort, and Dipanda will get his touch back. If all goes right, MPFC may not even score one. But I'm just being kind to them and giving them one goal here.
Okay. Kevin?
It's going to be a goalless draw. With all the signings for Mohun Bagan and all the lack of understanding between Dipanda and Sony Norde, it's going to be ending in we won't see any goals in this game.
Okay. Let's see. Both interesting thoughts out there. One a fan, the other a proper expert being neutral. And let's see how all it goes down. Now it's time to slip into a short break, and on the other side we have all the weekend fixtures to talk about in ISL.
Hello, I'm Sanjeev.
And I'm Tushar.
And this is the Rotomouth Podcast, a weekly show where we talk about motors and motoring in India. Cars, bikes, rickshaws, buses, friends, familiars, and time pass.
Find us every week on the IVM Podcast app or any other app you might use. Stuck in traffic? Put on Rotomouth. Taking a while in the loo? Rotomouth is there for you.
Dude, that sounded particularly disgusting.
Thank you. But seriously, catch Rotomouth every week.
Welcome back, and we have how many matches now? We have Saturday a game and 2 matches on Sunday, right? So we have 3 matches to look at, and tonight. Oh, wow, I just forgot tonight's game. Okay, we have tonight a match as well. Now, before we get into that, I think I should address this. I think we all should address this, and since we are a platform where we can talk about it, some ugly scenes that took place in the last night's match between Chennaiyin and Northeast United, but not on the field. Off the field and the stands, and that's really bad. I mean, it's been going around on social media at the moment, so I'm sure you must have got a glimpse of what I'm talking about. I think let's keep the banter going. That is healthy. But things like this is unhealthy, and it actually takes away what we term football as a beautiful game. So I think there should be some strict action taken here by ISL, and if there are no protocols like home and away fans sitting away from each other, I think it should start now, because it's also to keep. And where are the security reasons? I mean, you kind of hail yourself as a big league, and with all of these things, and you have a lot of protocols like this. You can't enter with this. You can't enter with this. So why not have security?
Yeah, one of the things, man. I mean, a similar scene happened to Mohun Bagan fans when they were playing Royal Wahingdo away from home, and I'm pretty sure when ISL FC visited Mohun Bagan in their very first season, like their debut I-League game, they could have been subjected to worse. But Mohun Bagan made sure they were sitting in a very different enclosure, separated from the Mohun Bagan fans. And there was 50-60 cops in that section with them to make sure nothing untoward happens. So these are realistic protections that you offer.
These are basic things. These are basic things, because fans come
Absolutely.
out and
nobody is telling you to make a derby level security arrangement, but give them some space to express themselves in their own section, because it gets feisty, and just look at the way that idiot was dancing in front of away fans and trying to intimidate them, and nobody was going to stop him. That shows there is no fan culture. If the fans were there as a collective, somebody would have slapped him and said, "You're making yourself look like an idiot, and making us all look like an idiot. Stop it." So the reason he was allowed to go on so long was because there's no one acting for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. There are always these. There are always these, pricks are present everywhere. I mean, we've always seen in all walks of life, everywhere, and they will be there. So it's our responsibility to take it off.
These guys get contained.
Exactly. So exactly. So if you are in for a good game and you're coming for a healthy banter where there are chants going on against each other's teams or players, which is fine. That is healthy banter. This is not. Now, for those who are calling something as that, those chants being racial slur,
I would say... This is more harassment.
Yeah, this is what being racial or being harassing. This is actually what being torturing them. I mean, just because they are soft targets for you and they won't react the way you would, it's really ridiculous. I mean, you're just taking the beauty of the sport away from it. And please, I think security, ISL, whoever is concerned, should take much interest to this and clear things off, because if you call yourselves as the 12th man, learn to behave, and also the security should be there and doing the needful. Now let's move on. Let's talk about the beautiful game like it is, because we love the sport as it is, and it's time that these things are just kept at bay. Let's come back. Tonight, another fixture. Kerala Blasters take on Jamshedpur FC at home once again. A dead game in the opening match, but I'm sure the fans are going to come again in numbers like they always do. Sea of Yellow will be there in Kochi, but Kevin, do we expect firecracking goals from this time from Kerala Blasters?
I don't know really, because the way Kerala Blasters have approached their first game, it was more of high of expectation but very low deliverance. So this could be a chance for them to just settle in, trying to understand what this team is capable of. Maybe get in an Indian keeper and add that extra foreigner in the midfield, or I think it's a midfield is where they're lacking. So that could be one choice. Subhashish Roy comes in for Kerala Blasters in the goal, so that makes an extra room for an Indian player to serve, a foreigner to set in somewhere. The defense was kind of okay because ATK was not threatening in the first game. Looking at Subrata's game in the first one, he's one man who can just be there for defending.
Right.
Even if your defense is absent, he's somebody who can just negate that, and he can just take the game to the opposition. Some great saves by him led to that goalless draw in the first game against they played with. So that's done with the goalkeeping. Jamshedpur have some good players in the midfield, but can they combine well with the defense is a worry for me. But that red card incident obviously has taken Kopel to take things in his hand and try to get that that composure in, because we saw Samik Duty get into that. He got
a yellow.
So that's the kind of team you want to get together when you're down, and this doesn't help. So maybe that's something that Steve Coppell has worked on to get through to his team. I don't see a lot of goals again unless Babatov is there for that Robin Singh moment to just tap in a loose ball, a free kick that's saved by Subrata. That kind of goals I see from Kerala Blasters. Jamshedpur have really not shown enough aggression, enough fight to get in the goals.
Right.
Maybe this is the chance.
Right. Chiranjeev, your thoughts on the match tonight?
Yeah, well, so this is Kerala Blasters versus Kerala Blasters legacy, or Kerala Blasters from the past. I think we're going to see a very different team here, or very different approach from the Blasters here. They started on a cautious note because they did not want to lose to ATK again, because doing the start of the season, after the history that they have, is very demoralizing. So they played it safe. You would of course want to see them do better, but it was what it was. It's a top 4 race. You don't have to win every single top game. But look at Northeast United. They played Jamshedpur FC an attack with not as much teeth as the likes of Berbatov or Pekuson or Vineet or Hume, and how they handled themselves against them, and how they handled themselves against Chennaiyin FC when they played them after that. So Jamshedpur FC, in the light of Northeast United's performance against Chennaiyin FC, are not really that intimidating of a team. Okay, so when a team like Jamshedpur FC is coming and you are playing at home and you are just coming off a draw and you need to change the mood for your fans, what do? You start on a very high note.
Right.
We will see Reno Anto making those overlaps. We're going to see some aggressive running from Araka Izumi. We're going to see Vineet push hard forward. We're hopefully going to see Ian Hume play 90 minutes. I'm pretty sure he's learned his lesson by now that Stefanos may be good, but keep him for later. So yeah, I think we're going to see a very attacking game from Kerala Blasters, and they're going to get goals.
Okay.
They're going to probably get 2 goals by the 70-minute mark if they get going. Yeah, because Jamshedpur FC, they got Anas, Tiri, Sanjeevan, Doughty is there, but simply they just don't look like they have as hard and fast a midfield that can contain this Kerala Blasters attack. Okay, and even if there is, you have speedy players like Reno who can just circumvent the whole thing. So Kerala Blasters have a good chance to put on a proper blast tonight.
Okay.
And that's what I think from this match.
Okay. I think you've just made Manjapada happy, got smiles on their faces. But is that your scoreline, 2-0 to Kerala Blasters? Or?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2-0.
Okay. Kevin?
I don't see too many. Maybe a 1-1 or could be a 0-0 again.
Okay. He's just taking precautions now, Kerala, because he expected too much in the opening game. I think it's time. Just like Delhi proved us wrong, Delhi match proved us wrong. This game also should prove us wrong, probably. So let's see how this.
We'll probably be proven wrong here as well. Both of us.
Exactly. Let's see. Let's just wait for the surprise that comes in. Now, moving on to the weekend fixtures quickly, and we have tomorrow Mumbai City. That's on Saturday. Mumbai City take on FC Goa. Now, Mumbai City have lost the first match. FC Goa have won the first match, and this is Mumbai City's home ground. But what do you see here, Kevin? Beginning with
I was really disappointed by Mumbai City, especially the defense. Nothing like previous season, although they've got so many players who were retained for the same sole reason to get in the defensive shape as they did last time.
Right.
But it's not going well for them, and FC Goa, with the form that they showed against Chennaiyin FC, is it going to be easy for them even to stop the likes of Brandon and Korominas? These guys are just they're fast, they're skillful, and Mumbai City will have a tough time to get a hold of the game, let alone scoring goals.
Okay, Charanjit.
Yeah, I think they need to play disrespectful football here. Because on an even keel, just by player versus player talent, FC Goa out quality Mumbai City, I think, in almost every department. So what Mumbai City should do is play disruptive, make fouls. Don't care if you are going to get a card earlier on in the season, when referees don't have their head together anyway in the season cycle. So just try and break the flow of FC Goa in any shape or form possible, because if they find their pace like they did against Chennaiyin FC, if that happens, Mumbai City will be blown out of the Andheri Sports Complex. They'll end up just beyond the gallery and probably near the metro station. So yeah, they need to make sure the engine never gets started for FC Goa and play dirty if you have to, which I don't think they are capable of doing, because Guimarães is such a nice guy. He's always respecting his opponent. He's always just trying to put on a really good face. I think this is a kickback or a reflex that is coming out of the very ugly scenes that happened between Mumbai City and ATK last time they played in this stadium, by the way. So I think they should just go ahead and embrace that bad guy image. Okay, I think Mumbai has that grit in it as a city to pull off the bad guy image and not give a damn if others hate them. This time they just don't have the quality. They don't have strikers like Chetri or wingers like Sonny Norde or even the other great players that they had from last season. So just do it. Just embrace the suck and make it suck for the other team.
Okay.
And maybe get a draw. Maybe if you're lucky, get a win. Who knows? Just make sure FC Goa is not able to play.
Right. Scoreline, Kevin.
Yes, what Janjit is saying is making absolute sense. When your team did not even come close to delivering to the plan that the coach had, you need to get in something that either you got two options here. Either you go all out and test your limits, or sit back and try to understand just let go of this game. Maybe a goalless draw will help us. Just make sure that you're not conceding again the way that they did, because the first half what Mumbai City played against Bengaluru was kind of okay. Goalless again means you're still in the game. So maybe that is the option now. We've seen Chennaiyin go down badly against FC Goa, but the next game, see the corrective action that the coach brought out. He tried a different formation, he packed his defense, and that's what it helped in the first half itself. So that's the kind of tactics that might go around Guimarães' head there. But again, it's tough. It's tough. I don't see them anywhere coming close to. It's a 2-0 win easy for FC Goa again.
Okay. Chiranjeev, scoreline for Mumbai City versus FC Goa?
I think it's a 1-0 win for Goa.
Okay. Great. Let's see how that goes ahead. And moving on, Sunday has two fixtures here. We have ATK playing FC Pune City at 5:30, and then later on BFC Bengaluru FC.
How can I forget that? It's like even my mother sometimes watches TV serials on the Bengali channels of Star Network, and every other minute they're flashing it on the corner of the screen. ATK versus Pune City, 2 days to go. 3 days to go. And it's like 24 hours that match is being advertised on some 15, 16 channels. At
and
the
you're
corner
still forgetting.
So of course they're doing this to death. They're promoting this as harder than any football match has ever been promoted in India's history. I think this ATK versus Pune match particularly. And let's see what kind of crowd response they get.
First home match for ATK here, and which will be home to many other teams as well. Now let's begin with you, Chiranjeev. ATK versus Pune City.
Yeah, well, ATK are looking good.
Yeah.
They had a away draw against Kerala Blasters, but it was not very exciting to look at. It did not, however, reflect badly on ATK, because they're going to Kerala Blasters. Although ATK have a really good record against KBFC, but it's never easy to go out there and play in Kochi. And if you look at the games that they have played against KBFC, it's hardly ever been a domination, right? It's always been very close. Even the 2014 final, 2016 final went into penalties, right? And they've gotten a lot of draws between themselves. So, they were right to play cautious. They should have, and they got the point, which is good enough for them. So this time, I think it's time to just ensure that they get goals in this match. That's the bottom line. Hitesh Sharma has been doing so well, creating chances. They need to put Lingo on a more leadership role. I think the coach needs to talk to him. Ashley Westwood, Sheringham, whoever it is, doesn't matter. Go and tell Lingo that, okay, what you got to do. You have been trying, but the kind of performance that you put on when you were in Bengaluru FC, just marshalling the attack from the midfield, that is not there anymore. So tell me where you need the help, and I will probably help you get back to that persona that you used to embody in the past. So help him out with that, and I'm hoping that as he practices with Cookie, Jaquinia, and Prabir and other midfielders, as more and more in the practice sessions and in the context of the league, as they're all meeting and strategizing about upcoming matches, their coordination will become better and better. And this is the perfect game for them to make it a reality. Like, yes, what we have here as an attacking it can work on the pitch. This is their chance to prove it, because Pune City did not really impress when they were playing against Delhi Dynamos. Right. They got 2 goals. I think the last goal was too late in the game. DDFC had given up by then. Their defense was just not in shape anymore. Alfaro scored. That came from Sarthak Gului. Sarthak Gului is one of the people to watch in this game. So Marcelinho needs to turn up. Jonathan needs to turn up. Tebar obviously needs to turn up. Golu needs to turn up. I think 4 or 5 players need to put on their best performance from Pune City that they have ever done in ISL before in order to get Pune City a victory here, because ATK just look really good as a unit at this point. And if they get going, it's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, so
I'm going to go ahead and predict 2-1 win for ATK here.
Okay. Kevin, your thoughts on scoreline?
Both teams are hit with injuries, aren't they? Vishal Ket, we don't know what the reason was, but he was expected to start, but he did not. There's Robbie Keane, who's injured, the star man whom they got in with so many expectations, and he's not available. Now, coming to Keane Lewis, he's again somebody who's
fully not fit.
So he did not start in the first 11. So that's a worry for both teams. But it's just the start of the season. It can be a lot more different coming down because injuries are part of the game. Looking at ATK's team, Hitesh Sharma and Lindo combined so well in the first game. We do not expect Hitesh Sharma to shine so brightly. But I think it's the support that he gotten from Lindo. It's always seen that Lindo plays a part where he always gets in the best out of his partner. That's we've seen for the national team, Borges, and he working out so well. So that's a great combination right there. Zekina needs to be there. Now, these are the players. Bipin is there, who's gotten goals in the pre-season. He needs to get in there and have a tap in or create those chances coming in from the wing. Jewel Raja. Now we've seen him getting injured in the first minute, and Pune City lost one substitution right there. So it was a forced substitution. These kind of changes really hamper your plan, your coach's plan. So it really
that's exactly what he said at the post-match.
So it's a difficult task when you're hit with an injury at the first minute. So they will be hoping for some fitness related good news from all sides, Pune City, because their team looks good. Especially the Indians in the side.
They have to play like a team, though.
Yeah. So it'll be a good game to watch if the coach's plans work for both teams.
Your scoreline.
ATK looks a bit stronger because they've got lesser injuries. We are talking about who's got the most fitter side. Robin Singh is as fit as ever to get into goals.
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
The first of the many 20 goals that Chiranjeev predicted will be tonight. I mean on Sunday night.
Yeah. So I think there will be goals from ATK. Maybe a 3-1 to ATK.
Okay. Now the final match for the weekend, the cherry on the cake. If you wouldn't enjoy any other games, you can enjoy this one. Bengaluru FC take on Delhi Dynamos. Or should I say West Block Blues taking on Dynamos Ultras. And second home.
Come on, there's no comparison.
Of course there's not.
Sorry, Dynamos Ultras. Okay. You don't match up in any shape or form.
Yes, Ranjit, I know. I was just making just a random statement. I know I'm hurting your feelings because Bengaluru FC are your second favorite team. I know that. But coming to the match, second home match for Bengaluru, and first game, a great game. Started with a bang. They have 3 points. They will definitely look for another 3 points here. But Delhi on the other side were also tough against Pune City, and this looks like a tough game. I mean, this looks like a good challenge from both sides, right, Kevin?
Yeah, good teams to watch out for. Obviously, Bengaluru start off favourites, getting that experience that they have as a club. Now we are talking about clubs, we're not talking about teams. So there's one club versus another team. That's Delhi Dynamos. Yes, they made good use of all-around players in the first game, and they did get in goals. Now goals is what every team needs. Bengaluru FC, it's not just about goals. They can change their way of playing, matching the style of their opponents. That's the best part of Roka's strategy. We've seen how he can, just all of a sudden just change a second half game and then take the game to the opponents, and that's the beauty about Roka and his AFC Cup campaign that we've seen last season as well. And he's got most of the side that whom he wanted, and they will be too strong. But Delhi again, are they going to go all out, or are they trying to contain them? That's the thing.
Yeah, your scoreline before Janit comes in.
Scoreline. PFC looks favourite to score as well. No shortage of goals again. 2-0 again to BFC.
Okay, Chiranjeev?
Yeah, I'll agree on the scoreline there, but the story of this match is in individual matchups here. It's Lalianzuala Changte versus John Johnson. It's Sunil Chetri versus Pritam Kotal and Pratik Chaudhary. It's Paulinho Diaz, trying to outdo, let's say, Eric Portalu or Lenny Rodriguez in the midfield. That's what this is. It's this mouth-watering matchup of talents. Mirabaje, can Mirabaje be contained by Juanan? Those are the things. Can the Delhi Dynamos strikers, can Kalu Uche or Gabriel Fernandes get past Gurpreet Singh? These are the questions. It's like a who's who of the cream of the talent in Indian football, both the foreigners and Indians coming together. And this is as good as it can get this early in the season. This is, you get matchups like this where you have so many talented players. Maybe in the playoffs, or maybe when the title race is drawing to a close and you already have your established stars and two teams that are really playing well are clashing in a 6-pointer game. But having a 6-pointer game and both teams are winners, both teams are contenders, and they're playing so well. This early in the season, it's happening. It's a treat for the fans. And if you have not been easing into the season yet, it has just happened, you're not getting in the mood yet, but in this game, we're getting in the mood. It's going to be a proper contest, end to end, and it might actually be a 2-1 game because I don't think BFC will be held to a clean sheet here. So DDFC will be held to a clean sheet here.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just great game, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a great end to the weekend. It's like I said, a cherry on the cake to end your weekend on a good note. Now that's all from today. The only thing I'm calling is I want Miko on the scoreline. I mean, on the score sheet.
Miko, Chico, Pico, Edu.
I want him to score. He tried his best. I'm really a big fan of him, of his game right now. So I will definitely keep an eye on his game in the next match. And that's all, folks, from today. If you enjoyed the show, then please do that and show that you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let your comments come in. Let us know your thoughts about all these ISL fixtures, the I-League match, and everything that's happening in Indian football. And also subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you get updates of our new episode. You can talk to us directly on Twitter, Chiranjeev Oja, Boza_Kevin, Sijil Matthew 94. Follow the TFG football to handle to get all the updates regarding all these matches, the live updates. And if you want to read about any of these games, get onto our website, thefanglass.com, guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. And all the animated lovers over there, you can go watch Coco and have some fun because I want to watch it too. Great. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye. See you.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started ATKT.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through ATKT.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. ATKT.in.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया, एक्सक्यूज मी.
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर जकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप. सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.